to 2-Point Perspective by Furry Spaces.
So I'm Kelsey, I'm the founder and CEO of Furry Home and Furry Spaces.
And I'm Steph, the lead architect and design director of Furry Spaces.
So as you can see, we're in our
Cheongsam or Chipa or the traditional Chinese clothing. And that's because it's
Chinese New Year!
Yay!
Yeah, we're actually filming this on Feb 9.
Yeah, so
Chinese
just
New Year's
3 days away, yeah. So Gong Hei Fat Shui.
Happy Chinese New Year.
Yeah, happy Chinese New Year.
Yeah. I was gonna ask Steph if this is racist. But it's our own race naman, so I guess it's okay.
Yeah, we're actually both Filipino Chinese. We both have Chinese ancestry, so I don't think it's racist at all.
Yeah.
Actually, I was the one who told Kelsey, I kind of want to talk about Feng Shui and I want to do it in traditional clothing because I feel like it's also an ode to our culture.
I remember when I was a kid, when we went to high school, every Chinese New Year, we would all dress up in our cheongsams.
Really?
Yeah, and then there was actually best costume. I'm like, what's my best costume? We all look the same naman na. Pero there were some na that really stood out, like the more flowy one.
Did you win?
No, never. I was in the department store and watch on stuff. So today we're gonna talk about Feng Shui.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that is the correct pronunciation. It's not Feng Shui, it's Feng Shui.
Some people say Feng Shui.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
Well, because they don't know that Feng is Feng,
Yeah.
not Feng. And Shui means water, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But actually, like in our family, we call it, well, not just in our family, but most Filipino Chinese here in the Philippines, we call it Hong Sui because that's how we say it in Phuket. And majority of the Filipino Chinese, well, the Filipino Chinese specifically in the Philippines, majority of the Chinese in the Philippines are from Hokkien. So,
Yeah. Where's Hokkien in China? Like geographically?
it's in the Fujian province, somewhere in the middle.
Fujian, yeah.
Yeah, Fujian. Or no, somewhere in the seaside, I think.
Yeah.
That's how it came to be that Philippines and Chinese traded, like even before the Spaniards came.
Geographically, China and the Philippines are near,
Yeah.
right? So you can just take a boat from China to the Philippines before. It baffles me that we have like so much islands, but there's Chinese everywhere. Like, for example, for us, we came from Mindanao. It baffles me how there's so much Chinese that's spread apart.
Yeah,
in the
all,
Philippines.
in all the 3 major Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao.
Cebu, like
Yeah.
Mindanao, it's everywhere, yeah.
But I think it's mostly because of trading, like with the seas. Because we're an archipelago na, so it's like, hi, hello,
Yeah.
barter, tea.
Yeah. So our first topic is, let's talk about the history, the definition, and where did this come from, and why are we still practicing it today? So we have our notes here. There's actually a lot to it. I didn't know there was a lot to it. When I started researching, I was watching like a lot of videos and I was reading a lot of articles. And even I was shocked. And we practice Feng Shui all the time. Like ever since I was a kid. My mom used to always fix up the house, She was always particular with the designers that we were getting. Kailangan Chinese. Kailangan. Kailangan she knows about Feng Shui.
I think even with our Filipino Chinese clients, they're also like that.
Yeah.
They're like,
They're
oh,
happy.
you guys are Chinese, so you know Feng Shui. Like, just a bit.
Yeah, so today we're gonna talk about the old practices before, how we're bringing it to the modern day times, and how we're mixing it with modern design.
Yeah.
Which I think is a really interesting topic.
Same here. Because I really I'm not too much of a fan of like too modern. It's too minimalist. It's so empty of any personality, any culture. Like I do think that we should give respect, give a throwback to our culture, where we come from, in design as well.
I think even if you're not Chinese, even if you're Asian, or even if you're like American or European, I think that the practice of Feng Shui is still very beneficial. So the first thing we're going to talk about is the definition of Feng Shui. So based on my readings and everything I knew like since I was a kid, Feng Shui is the art of balancing the elements, and it's a way of harmonizing our energy in relation to our living space. How about you? What do you think Feng Shui is?
For me naman, like I based my research on my dad's old Feng Shui books, and I really like this definition, which was Feng Shui's goal is to harness energy forces and establish harmony between an individual and their environment.
I like that.
And this book, it actually had an FAQ section, and one of the FAQs was, I'm Catholic, so can I still practice Feng Shui? And what the book said was that Feng Shui knows no religion. It's just the natural way, the natural order of things. It gives respect to the environment, to nature. So it doesn't really attach itself to any religion.
Yeah. Before this podcast, I actually did my research. Is Feng Shui,
Superstition?
yeah, is it a religion? Is it a science?
Yeah.
And I realized that it's actually an art. It's not like, you know how they say like Buddhism isn't really a religion.
It's a way of life.
Yeah, it's kind of like that in a way, but Feng Shui has a lot of tradition. That's why a lot of people think that it's a religion or it's a science or it's all of these hocus pocus, whatever, but I think it's really an art.
I think in the end, for me, it's more of a guide. Like, it's not a rule book now, this is what you should do, but it's a guide, so it's there. Why not try to follow what our ancestors thought was good?
Yeah, and we're gonna talk about why they thought these were good, why they felt like there were scientific reasons behind it, and there actually are. Some of them, they have scientific reasons behind it. Yeah, I was
So exciting.
Yeah, and we're gonna talk about how it might clash with modern design and how we might find the middle ground.
Actually, maraming magandang definition ito. Human life being connected and flowing with the environment around.
A traditional Chinese concept linking the destiny of man to his environment. It aims to ensure that people live in harmony with their surroundings.
Yeah.
I think that's true because the way you position your furniture, like the walls, the doors, I think that there's definitely a science to it. Like, I don't know if it's the sunlight bar or what, or like the flow of the wind or what, but you can definitely feel that there's like a flow of energy. Like if your place is too cluttered, it's kind of hard to think straight because there's no clear path to like the open air or open surroundings. So I think there's really some truth to that.
And actually, like what you said about destiny, people always regard destiny as, oh my god, so you believe that there's a firm, concrete, exact thing that's gonna happen to you, but destiny, at least according to Chinese practices, isn't like that. It's more of like there's a potential that this might happen to you if you play your cards right, you know? So for the Chinese, like Feng Shui and to an extent Nianzi, is all about exploiting the potentials and minimizing or maximizing whatever you would want, like fortunes or misfortunes. So the guy who did our house, his name is Tan Xian, which is in Chinese is Mr. Tan. So I hope you're watching this. I hope you're proud of me. No, I'm kidding. So when he did our house, he also did my Nianzi.
Wait, I think you have to explain to them what Nianzi is.
Yeah. A very rough definition would be my destiny. So basically, he saw me as a baby and he was like, I know what's gonna happen to you, or at least the potentials of what would happen to you.
So it's like fortune telling.
Yeah. And he also gave me my Chinese name because he thought that having this name would guide me well in my life. And I don't know, that was really fun.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. But I know some people whose Chinese names are like Kong, like the bread.
Yeah. Wait, so I had this high school friend. His Chinese name was Shui Long, which means water dragon. And that was because when they saw his Nianzi or his quote-unquote destiny, he would have a lot of fire, a lot of negative fire, in his life. And so in order to combat that, that's why they gave him that name. So I don't know, like stories like that. It's interesting.
Do you know about Ayurveda? Do you know Ayurveda? It's not a person.
Oh, is that the yoga thing?
Yeah, it's a yoga thing. I learned it one day during my yoga teacher. So basically, Ayurveda is the study of the elements in yourself, like water, fire, earth, and air. I think it's like Vata, Pitta, something like that. Kapha is earth. It's like basically a personality test. Like, what is your personality? Yeah, what element are you? Are you more Vata, which is air? Like, are you like airy, you know? And are you like fiery, like, you know, like go?
So what are you?
I think I was Vata Pitta, which was air and fire.
Ooh, I can see.
Because I can be like airy in a way, but I'm also like fire, like go, like passionate, stuff like that. So there are good elements to this, but there are also bad elements. Like with fire, you can burn out, like literally burn out. Not literally.
Figuratively.
I'm just trying to exaggerate, but yeah, you can like burn out. And with air naman, parang you can also space out. I think this is Indian rooted. It's interesting how even in different cultures, there's this study of the elements and how we interact with them and how like deeply rooted we are with them.
Like even in Chinese though, we have our own element. Like I'm here of the pig, but I don't know my specific element, but like it's fire and then metal. Like every cycle is different.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I actually haven't like looked into that.
Yeah, I haven't looked into that. Sorry, this is Feng Shui. We're getting there. But it's just interesting how it unites in every culture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, this isn't scripted, guys.
Sorry.
We really did not talk about this. Like,
Yeah.
even if we wanted to say something, we were like, no, let's save it for the podcast. So we
Yeah.
would have like our genuine reactions. Because I feel like not a lot of people, like they know what Feng Shui is about, but they don't really know where it came from and why people are like so strict about it.
So where did it come from, Kelsey?
You know, a lot of websites say that it stemmed 3,000 years ago.
Ooh.
But then I was like, parang, I still didn't really know like where did it come from, like the primal way, you know, like in Africa. Because I'm like that. I want to look way back. So let me read my my notes here. Originating in China almost 6,000 years ago, Feng Shui, also referred to as geomancy, literally means wind and water. So it's an ancient method of constructing and optimizing residences and also businesses
Yes.
to bring about happiness, abundance, and harmony. So there's architecture, there's urban planning, there's interior design, all looped into it. Fun fact pala,
Oh.
Feng Shui was actually invented before the compass was invented.
What?
Yeah, did you know that?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, according to my research, there's a Chinese compass, diba?
Yeah.
But there's also a regular compass.
Yeah.
It was actually invented before that. So they had a way of making sure with the sun, right?
Oh.
So then, you know, the sets here. So I think that's how they used the different directions. They say that it comes from China, right? But it says here, there's another link. Probably will link these below if you guys want to look for yourselves. But 5,500 years ago, Indian mystics practiced the principles of Vastu Shastra, literally translated as building science. So the science of building.
Ooh,
It's
I
a
love
system that explains how to design and construct buildings, houses, and cities. And the followers of Vastu believe that every building is a living organism with its own energy. And then they also study the five elements, which is earth, water, fire, air, and space, on the world around them. So I think this is where it came from. I think a lot of websites also mention the practice of, or like the incorporation of qi, which is energy in Chinese. Yeah, so I think that's what Feng Shui is really about. It's harmonizing, optimizing your qi,
Yeah.
and making sure your energy is well, it's flowing well.
And it's
Rather.
very centered.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, let's move on. So, does it really work? And what's the science behind it? What are the beliefs?
I don't know, I asked my grandma whether Feng Shui really worked. And of course her answer was, of course it does. And then I asked her, have you ever had any instance where you didn't follow Feng Shui and it resulted in bad luck? And her answer was, she never not followed Feng Shui, so she wouldn't know the answer to that.
To that, I want to add, my mom had this experience. She believes because mirrors are bad when when it reflects the way you see it.
Yes.
So there was one time in our house before in Cebu where the mirror was positioned like where it reflects only her head. So it cut off her neck. And she didn't really consider that as a mirror because it was behind a shelf. I don't know if she really saw it or I think it's been bothering her, but she didn't really do anything about it because her designer was like, okay, like.
And then
But then the rest of the house was like really like well Feng Shui. Anyway, so
so nothing happened.
No.
Okay.
Something happened.
Ooh.
Yeah, her throat parang I don't know, but guys, if this is tama ba or what? Pero she had a thyroid problem, hyper or hypo, ba, something like that.
Hyperthyroidism.
Yeah, and then after that, after her doctor's visit, she removed the mirror.
Yeah.
Then she said she's been okay ever since.
Yeah.
But then guys, please don't take this to heart. Kasi
Yeah.
genetic kind yung thyroid.
And I think kasi, honestly, like Feng Shui, it's a pseudoscience. And pseudoscience is not really based on any facts. It's more of confirmation bias, really. Pero for me,
Yeah.
I respect it because it is where it came from. We are
Sure.
of Chinese descendants, so
Culture and art.
yeah. And I don't know, it's a special thing about me. Whenever people are like, "Oh, you're a Chinese architect. Oh, do you know Feng Shui?" And I'm like, "Sucks lang," you know. But you know what? My grandma does have a kwento of bad luck. So we had a driver before, and grabe, as in 1 month, yung biyanan niya and yung mom niya died. As in magkasunod. And then parang kinukwento niya sa lola ko. And then my grandma was asking, oh, are they staying with you? And then he was like, yeah, and that's when it all happened. And apparently, my driver's door was right in front of a mirror. And then basically, my grandma asked to move it. Wait, sorry I think the biyanan died and then his mom was in the hospital. But after they moved the mirror, the mom was like, okay, I'm well na. And my grandma's like, see, so that's why you should listen to Feng Shui. And I'm like, interesting. And actually, meron pa siyang kwento. So remember when I mentioned Kelsey? So he actually has a celebrity client here in the Philippines. But I'm not gonna say it on camera. Basically, he had this whole townhouse set. Now there was a pool, there's a fountain in the middle, like sort of like a courtyard type. And then no one would buy it. But apparently, when Tansian said, oh, you should definitely remove that pool kasi parang may butas ka sa katawan. You have a butas in the center, so everything you eat goes out, something like that. And then after you covered it up, everything sold out. But then again, that's just my grandma's kwento of Tansian. It's funny, no?
I think there's a lot of things that parang your grandma wants to validate.
Yeah.
So you'll follow.
Yeah. Yun nga, basically confirmation bias.
Let's talk about applying Feng Shui in your homes. What are the must-dos?
Well, this is from my grandma. So for her, the first time you enter a new house, you should have money, rice, salt, and walis ting.
What's walis ting?
The really thin sticks.
Okay.
But it's not the one with the handle, like the handle is the stick itself.
It's
But
just
a picture.
It's a broom, basically. But yeah, so you have to have that. Money, salt, okay.
And then parang you put it in all the corners, or almost all the corners. There's lucky corners. I think it's like the longest corners of the room. Yeah, that's where you should put it to get luck. So that's one of the 101s. And I think this one, almost everyone knows. You can't put a door right in front of another door. You can't put a door right in front of the mirror. You can't put a bed in front of the mirror.
Yeah.
Yeah, anything mirror is bad. And honestly, for me, like
mirrors are good if they reflect something good. So, example in bathrooms, they cannot reflect trash cans or toilets because those are negative energy. For example, trash cans are waste, right? And then toilets, it's where your waste goes. So you have to close your toilet, you have to not have the mirror. Like example, the mirror has to reflect only you. Yeah, or something positive. I don't know, like a view or something.
But wouldn't the bed be also you?
The bed?
Yeah, if it's in front of the
I think sleeping is a different story. Because you're not conscious. I don't know, guys. I think I'm making sense of my mom's
Pero alam mo, like, besides Feng Shui, I also wouldn't like a mirror in front of my bed. Because imagine waking up in the middle of the night and you're like, oh my god, and then it's just you. You wake up and, oh my god, what's that silhouette? And apparently it's just you. So, so that's one of the things.
So it's not a funny Feng Shui story. So I have one, we used to travel a lot before. Like summer vacation, and then we would go to hotels that didn't practice Feng Shui. My mom would freak out. Like example, if the door was facing directly towards the bed, that's really bad. Right?
Yeah, that is.
Kailangan a little bit off to the side or basta not directly to the door. So if the hotel was designed that way, we would literally sleep the other way around.
Oh my god. Yeah. We went to we also went to Boracay one time and then there was this number, it was 444. As in my uncle went wild. He was like, change rooms and the staff were like, what?
Yeah.
But yeah.
I would also change rooms, honestly. It's kind of scary.
Yes.
To those who don't know, 4 means death in Chinese because of the Chinese
It sounds like death.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because it's S and S is also death. Yeah.
4, anything in our house is like
bad.
And 13, right? 13. Because I want to.
No, that's That's just
the devil's number.
That's Americans.
That's American.
Yeah.
Really? That was 1-3.
No.
You know, there's so many.
I think that's why it's honestly very varied because most of what I know about Feng Shui was from my grandma. Most of what she knows is like it's just passed on to us, and I feel like there's a revisionism going on.
Yeah. And I also saw this somewhere. No house is perfectly arranged to be 100% Feng Shui. Like, sure you'll practice some, but there'll always be some aspects not perfect.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You can always optimize it to like 80%, 90%,
Yeah.
but it's never going to be 100%.
Yeah.
I think it's just kind of impossible, especially in this day and age where, there are these parang properties in villages that you can't choose where you're facing, diba?
Yeah.
Yeah, some doors are like directly to the street and that's bawal. Bawal daw.
Oo. And bawal na naka-face sa north yung main door.
Yeah.
Daw. Puro daw eh.
If you believe it.
Yeah. Alam mo, another Feng Shui 101 is the stairs. So, di ba sa Filipino, it's oro, plata, mata, and it can't land at mata. It can't land at the third one, right? In stairs counting.
I'm not familiar with that.
Okay. But in Feng Shui, it's actually Hyang Ong Sui Bi. So, Hyang Ong Sui Bi.
So,
and
first
it's
step.
for 1, 2, 3, 4. And it can land at Hyang and Ong, but it cannot land at Sui and Bi. So, it has to land at the first or second, but not the 3 and 4.
What are you talking about land? Like, where
Like
you're
the last
the
step.
last
The first, the last step.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah, that's why when we count stairs. Yeah. I don't know if it's a well-known Feng Shui fact, but yeah, kasi parang Filipinos usually practice oro, plata, mata. We practice Hyang, Ong, Sui, Bi.
Yeah, it's really interesting talaga how there are so many rules that you don't really think about.
Yeah.
And then like, bigla lang when you have your house, like, and then a Feng Shui master comes and he's gonna be like, so many things wrong here.
But you have to be sort of wary with Feng Shui masters. Kasi parang they're not all real.
Really?
Yeah, there are
May
fakers.
license na.
Di naman, pero you have to be... May sinabing friend ko it's like Seahawk now, and I'm like, what does that mean? And then she doesn't know what it means in English, but basically, you have to be chosen. You're not like, I can't say na, okay, I'm an architect and I want to practice Feng Shui, can I also be a Feng Shui master? No, I have to be chosen. If it's not in my destiny, I cannot be a Feng Shui master.
Who's gonna choose you?
The chosen one. Yeah. And kasi, like...
Or an avatar.
Yeah, parang avatar. Oh, actually, parang avatar na, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Pero kasi, sabi ng dad ko, like, the easiest way to tell if the Feng Shui master is for reals is the way he accepts money. Because you're chosen one, because you're chosen by the heavens, you can't abuse your power. So, like, there was one time na a family friend gave like 100K to this Feng Shui master. Na, hey, thanks for doing my house. He gave back half of it. Kasi parang for him, his work was only half of it. Like, he knows what he does, and if you abuse your power, it will be taken from you.
Interesting.
Right? Okay, so parang I don't know if I should discuss this, pero kasi parang there's like, the way my friend explained it, di ba you're chosen? You have a spirit guide. Oh my god, you have like a Pikachu. Like if you're Ash, you have a Pikachu with you going around your adventures. And if you abuse your power, wala. Professor Oak is gonna take back your Pikachu. So we always have interesting analogies here in this podcast, right?
Another must do in your house if you wanna have good energy flow is you can't have your front door face directly to your back door.
Yes.
Do you know that?
Yeah.
Your front door, example when you enter the house, you cannot directly look at the back door or an exit towards the back.
Mm-hmm.
It has to be somewhere hidden because, example, if the good energy goes to the front door, it can directly go out. Like it's not going to flow around the house, give you good energy.
Yeah, and even in design, like the wind will just like.
Yeah, so
yeah.
So what makes my science there? Like the circulation of the air, it's not going to properly circulate. Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't pass through the bathrooms or the kitchen, so the food smell can't ventilate.
Yeah, kaya hindi rin maganda yung magkatapat yung windows like windows facing each other. Kasi it just like not even in Feng Shui, like even in design, it just like creates a vortex of sorts and you don't want that.
So that's one of the practices na Feng Shui and modern design comes together.
Yeah. And there are actually also parts where they clash, and do you want to discuss it now?
Yeah, let's talk about it.
Okay, so I have this book. Wait, I'll show you guys. So this is the book, and it's called The Applicable Feng Shui (Geomancy for Urban Living). So this was by my sister's Ninong, actually.
Ooh.
Yeah. Pero like guys, this was 1992. to. But I think it's pretty applicable to the times. Yes. So okay, the first one. Like even in lot sizes, Feng Shui is very particular. So this one is residence constructed on a square lot is auspicious. So auspicious is actually good. It means a good omen.
I just mentioned Crazy Rich Asians. She said, Mama said my nose is auspicious.
Yeah. You know what auspicious? I always thought it was negative because it sounds a lot like suspicious. So I was always suspicious of auspicious.
Auspicious means love.
Yeah, but I always thought it meant something bad, and they're like, oh my god, something's auspicious. Dun, 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 in my mind. You know how chartreuse is color green, but it sounds like it's color red, and vermilion sounds like it's color green, but it's actually red.
Why? Bakit chameleon?
I don't know, but like just one of those things that the words don't sound like the way they're supposed to. So auspicious is good. So other examples are like this: triangular lots are not good.
Okay.
Like even in design, it's so hard to design on a triangular lot because a lot of space will be wasted in planning.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Garden, it's gonna look weird.
But this is one of the weird ones.
Okay.
Sorry, Uncle. He said, plot sited on the south-facing north but with missing portion on its northwest portion could cause to the dweller's first son to have no offspring and misfortune. There's a lot of that here, and I just really feel bad for the first son.
As in yung talaga yung
yeah, no offspring. And it's always the first son. So it's good that I'm neither first nor a son, but it's always, the curse is always on the first son, I'm just saying.
Really?
Yeah. I love the first son. Cause death to the first son of the dweller if your shape is like that.
Okay, yun naman. I think that one is not a science.
Yeah. It's interesting.
Yeah, you know, there are a lot of things to consider, like yung genetics. Yeah, yung lifestyle. Yeah, it's not like there's like a spirit that's gonna directly go to your house.
Yeah, like this one. Rectangular plots are auspicious, and honestly, this is the ideal plot.
Yeah.
The ideal lot plot.
Also, architecturally.
Yeah. Yeah, I do.
Yeah. Because you can plot out the gate, the entrances really well. You have a nice backyard for a pool.
And then it says that it should not be too long or deep, which I also agree with as an architect.
Yeah, because if it's gonna be like a really long rectangle, ang weird naman ang house.
Yeah. And there are even things like this: dirty canals or stagnant putrid water in front of a house is not favorable. Bad costing force is abundant. I mean, like, even without costing force, like, that smells.
It just smells, yeah.
No, girl. Yeah. Right. Oh, this one I like. So this one is too big structure beside a small house is inauspicious. So for me, not good. So for me, it's not good because if you're a small house in the middle of two buildings, grabe, like you don't get any light. You don't get any natural light, like nakatapet ka. Like you feel so
small.
Yeah, claustrophobic. So this is really not good.
I think also like Feng Shui is also about how you feel. Like maybe it sounds hocus pocus because there's all of these weird things, but it's not like there's a science to it. It's more of like your energy and how you feel. Example, when you look at a space or where you live, may feeling talaga. Like when you go to a resort, it's open, you feel like you're one with nature. You feel like you want to relax. But if you live in a city, like me, if you live in a city in a high-rise building, and you're surrounded by all of these huge and tall buildings, you really do feel claustrophobic at one point. So I think there is some truth to this energy thing.
Yeah.
Because it tickles your senses, like your sight, like how you feel, like what you smell. It affects the way you live. So there might be some truth to this thing that our ancestors are doing. So they were onto something.
Yeah. But this is one of the things I don't agree with.
Okay.
So for Feng Shui, house that is long on its east and west side but narrow on its north and south is inauspicious. So the north facing the longer side. For me, in planning, it's better if the longer side is on the east and west. So why is that? That's because like east and west, that's where the sun rises, sun sets. And it's better that a large part of your house actually has access to that natural light, that natural ventilation. This is one part of the Feng Shui book I really do not agree with.
What is the rationale behind that? Why is it that?
It doesn't say it. It just says it. Yeah. But honestly, like, our house is like this. Like, the short side is facing the north.
I feel like it's because the north is good, right?
Yeah.
So it has to be facing the north.
Yeah. Like, but also, like, only one room. Imagine there are like 3 bedrooms in our house. and only one room is facing like the northeast. So northeast is also pretty ideal. Like whenever I'm at that room, which is my bedroom, luckily, whenever I'm in that room, I don't even turn on the fan. As in, sobrang cool lang. It's so naturally cool because the sun travels diba, east to west, but it goes down south. Dun yung travel path niya. So, if you're an artist and you want consistent lighting all throughout, you better be on the north side kasi hindi masyado magbabago lighting doon and it's cool. So, for me, like, it's just unfortunate that out of the 3 bedrooms, only 1 bedroom gets an ideal spot because of Feng Shui. Pero yun, if you want more more rooms to have more light, it's better it's on the longer side. Yeah.
But it's bad Feng Shui. So square na lang.
That is actually perfect compromise. Perfect compromise. Yeah. And here, for the interiors, there's this one. Columns and posts in view as door is open badly affects the offspring and financial matters of the dweller. So it's like when you open the door and there's a column in the middle.
Okay.
I think besides Feng Shui, like, would you want to open your door to a column? It's not
Some
nice.
people have no choice. Like example, like what if that's the house they bought, or what if that's the office that they rented? You know, what if it's like that?
They can move the door. I mean, renovate it, you know.
Renovate
the door, yeah. And there's also this one. So, tree roots that have grown into the house are inauspicious. So, this is actually dangerous. Because roots, you think trees are just like, oh, they're just trees. But their roots, oh my god, they're so strong that there's like, they can make cracks into your foundation. So, it's actually pretty advisable na, to build a bit farther from trees. So yeah, inauspicious guys, inauspicious.
What about building a tree inside your home? You know, there's also like the glass.
Yeah.
Yeah, the glass displays, and then there's like a bouncy tree or something.
Feng Shui says no, but if you want, you can try.
But Feng Shui also says that it's good to have green around.
Oh, but now I don't know. Like yun yung explanation ng mom ko. Kasi our house was supposed to be like that. Now there's like a garden in the middle. But Tansian said that it's kind of you have like a hole in your tummy, so everything you eat, it will go out. So everything you eat, it's like everything you earn also. Everything you earn, it will go out. That's also why you can't put stairs in front of the door, because everything you earn will go right out. And actually, when we went to visit our relatives in the US, their house, it was the door right in front of the stairs.
That's also in the US.
Yeah. And then my grandma was like, bad Feng Shui. Put the divider there. And then they contacted us like a few months later and they were like, we're doing well. Is it Feng Shui? And we're like, maybe. My grandma's kind of smug about it. She was like, I knew it.
Do you think that, you know, it sounds, because I hocus pocus to some people, it sounds like BS, right?
Yeah.
But do you think that it affects the mindset? Example, if there's a column blocking, or example, if it's the door to the stairs, do you think it affects how they feel about work, or like when they get home, you know, they don't feel rested, you know?
Honestly, like, if it were me and when I go home, there's always a column I see, it sort of disorients me.
It is.
And you think that, oh, it just disorients you like the first few seconds. But hindi, it builds up. Oh, it builds up, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I agree. And I also think, like, example, like if you sleep and then you face a mirror, it's also uneasy. Because you're looking, because in your perspective, there's something moving, but it's you, but you're not sure. So parang uneasy feeling. I mean, that's the scary cat in me. But
Yeah, I'm also scared.
yeah, but whereas, example, kung walang mirror, you feel that I can sleep, you know, there's nothing there, like there's something moving. Because mirrors, like, what's your instinct when you see a mirror? Look, diba? You look at the mirror. You observe how it opens up a space. So you have to put mirrors strategically talaga. If you put it near your bed, it doesn't really make you feel at peace.
I've also read somewhere that when you dream, you can't see your own reflection. You're not supposed to. Have you?
I don't know. You know, you're scary.
No, but you're not supposed to.
Okay, what?
If you do, you'll die. No, I'm kidding. Is this wood?
Yeah, it's one.
Okay, that's not on wood. But you're just not supposed to talaga. Like, try to remember. Have you ever seen your reflection in a dream? Because I've never. When I read it, I was like, oh nga no, I have never seen myself. Even if there's a mirror, I don't look at the mirror in the dream, you know?
Okay.
And I don't know, I just wanted to say that because, you know, parang reflections are a big thing in Feng Shui. Like mirrors, it's a very big thing. So,
Well, I heard that it's a gateway.
Ooh.
Guys, sorry, we're getting scary. If you're
Don't listen to this at night.
no, don't be scared. But it's also a good thing.
Yeah.
So all souls are not bad. That's what they say, right? All spirits are not bad.
Like the Pikachus for the Feng Shui masters, they're good spirits. They're here to help you. Wait, so I want to share this then.
Okay.
So this one is the distance between the floor and the bed should be at least 1 foot to be auspicious, thus to prevent the invasion of ghostly force. So 1 foot, that's almost 30 centimeters. And the ideal height for the bed is about 50 to 60, so that when you sit on it, it will be like such a low. Yeah. So I don't know. It's nice to see that it also prevents invasion of ghostly force. Like what monsters under your bed?
So they said there that it has to be at least 30.
Yeah. So
but the ideal is 50.
50 to 60. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, why naman hindi put your bed on the floor?
Yeah. And then there's things like oven placed under the beam is inauspicious. You really wouldn't want to place the beam above the oven anyway, because like where will you put the exhaust if the beam is there? You can't move the beam.
So what if it's like you have a high ceiling and there's a high beam up there, but you still have an exhaust?
Maybe you can just like that now.
Is there a reason why?
No reason.
We just catch you walang reason.
Wait, ito nga faucet and oven must not face each other. Dweller will be distressed with the womanizing curse. It's so specific with the curses.
Womanizing?
Yeah. So bawal
I actually also read something about that. So the oven has the element of fire, and the sink has the element of water. So when you put them facing across each other,
conflict.
Yeah, I mean, some people say it's a balance, some people say it's a conflict. I was actually researching that, but there walang concrete reason why.
But even in designing kitchens, we have this thing called the work triangle. It's ideal for the stove, the sink, and the ref to be in a triangle. So at least 4 feet away from each other, if I remember correctly. But they shouldn't be like directly in front of each other. It's not good. I mean, at least the stove and the sink. I don't know why, but like that's just to support Feng Shui.
There's another Feng Shui video I saw. It's ideal now.
Ideal?
Because, example, if you put an oven facing somewhere, it's gonna direct the fire energy there. And if you put the sink somewhere, it's gonna direct the water flow. So kailangan people, according to this video, kailangan daw across each other para it balances each other out.
That's so interesting.
Yeah, so ano ba talaga?
But like in this project I'm currently doing at the G residence, actually like my client was the one who said na you can't put a toilet on top of the kitchen because it's bad water. Toilet is considered as bad water, while sink and ref are considered as good water. So you can't like connect those two. Like it has to be a bit away from each other.
Let's talk architecturally though. Is that possible?
Oh, no, definitely, because like different yung pipelines for clean water and for dirty
it's
water.
Just the pipe. It shouldn't be the same pipe or above. Ano ba?
In Feng Shui, it shouldn't be above each other, like
The pipes.
the plants, just the structure.
Okay.
But then again, like that also makes sense because would you want those pipes to be near each other
No.
in case there's a leak,
Right?
right? That's just an excerpt from this Applicable Feng Shui for Urban Living. Get this book now, out since 1992. No, I'm kidding. We have a lot of Feng Shui books at home actually. But the thing is, you shouldn't put your Feng Shui books in your bedroom. No. That's also bad luck.
Why?
I don't know why. My grandma just tells me things and I'm just like, okay.
Blind father.
Yeah.
So like a sheep. Ganun talaga. When you have like these relatives that really impose these beliefs on you, you just have to be like, oh yeah.
Yeah. I guess you
Don't
just
fight
follow.
na. My mom also sometimes, like, I tell her na parang, maganda kasi if you have a full body mirror in your bedroom. Maganda kasi it's on trend when you arch full body. It's like, no. So I put it outside. So we actually weren't able to talk about the different elements. So we always talk about fire and water. But according to our research, there are 5 elements in which the chi or the energy flows. So they are earth, fire, metal, water, and wood.
And there's actually a creation cycle and a destructive cycle. So you have to be wary that it has to be in the creation, not the destructive cycle. So the creation cycle is wood, fire, earth, metal, water. Because wood is what makes the fire burn. Fire turns to ash, which turns to earth. With the earth, there's minerals, so metal. And metal, when you smelt things, evaporation, there's water. And water, aids wood.
So it's a cycle.
Oh yeah, that's the creation cycle. So for the destructive cycle, it's wood to earth, because when you put wood to earth, it's dug up. And then earth to water, because when you put earth on water, it dries up, absorption. And water to fire, that's sort of like obvious na. And fire melts metal, and then metal is an axe, cuts wood. So you have to make sure that your elements are in the right order.
Wait, so with the cycle, this is the first time I'm hearing about the
Yeah.
Feng Shui. So how do we apply the cycle? Like example, is it in the way we finish like the floors or the walls, or is it in the furniture that we create? Like how do we apply this cycle in our homes?
I think it's more of like a Feng Shui master will be able to tell that correctly. Okay, so besides the element, stove is fire, sink is water, I think we all know that. But even in ourselves, like you're a different element, I'm a different element. And then there's like, when I was designing this client's house, this Feng Shui master, he took into consideration the years, the birthdays of my client, his kids, and which bedroom should the daughter be, where should the father be, something like that, because I think it's all because of those 5 elements. So I don't think I'm qualified to discuss it well. But like it's something like that. It's all matching. Because it's not just about the things that surrounds us. It's also about us. We also have elements inside. Yeah. And other than the elements, Feng Shui also puts huge importance on yin and yang. Like there always has to be a balance.
So that's the black and white circle of the
Yeah.
Yin is
the dark, cold, feminine, and then yang is light, hot, and masculine.
Yeah, so the yang always has to be above the yin now.
Actually, I think in yin and yang, it's not really like masculine is boy, it's just more of like the energy. Yeah, and I always like the fact that, I don't know where I read it, but in the yin and yang symbol, there's always a little bit of yin in the yang. There's always a little bit of yang in the yin.
Yeah, and one cannot survive without the other.
Yes, exactly.
Because light cannot, no light without the dark, and vice versa.
It's about dualism. Opposite forces can be complementary and give rise to each other. So day and night must take turns to change with times and circumstances. That's how I feel about us. Like, we're yin and yang, we complement each other, and usually we're wearing black and white, just that now. But
Sino yin yang?
We'll find out in the next episode.
With the 5 elements, it also can be found in the modern daily objects. Like example, earth, those are the rocks, the ceramics, that's earth. Fire is the candles, fireplaces, stone. Metal is electronics, picture frames, mga metal elements. Water, fountains, aquariums. Wood, wood furniture, a tree,
So yeah, if you want to know how those elements can work well for you, consult a Feng Shui master, I guess.
How we can find the creation cycle.
Yes.
Do you know about the backwalk?
You know the thing about the bagua, we don't have in our homes. Pero like, the only thing I know about the bagua is that Christina movie and the curse and stuff. And
That's the mirror, right?
Yeah.
I was researching where did this come from, because that's the symbol that we all know because of the Christina movie. So the bagua, it's actually pronounced pa-kwa, because in Chinese one.
Yeah, and
pa-kwa.
Yeah.
So these are like parang building blocks of Feng Shui.
Interesting.
So there's imagine like a grid, and then there's it's a
8 sides,
3 by 3 grid. So 9 total. So there are these numbers on the bagua grid, and then horizontally or vertically, it all equals to the number 15.
15.
Yeah, I was like,
numbers.
15? Because 15 is the lunar cycle. There are 15 days. Yeah, so kunyari, it's like 8, 2, 5. Ganun. Or like 5, 3, 7. Nagkasya ko dun.
So math. 9 is also very prevalent in Chinese Feng Shui.
Yeah.
Wait, I'm not sure about this, but in the Forbidden Kingdom, like it's 9 pillars or something.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Or 9, because it's always 9.
It's 9 lucky.
Yeah, it's lucky.
No, I thought 7, 8, 9 was lucky.
Even like when you enter a home, there's always like 9 horses, 9 dragons. Like there's a painting of 9 horses, 9 dragons.
Really?
Yeah, that's one of the lucky things.
Interesting.
Yeah, 8 and 9, never 4.
I just know 8 was like continuous cycle, or infinity.
Yeah, my friend would also say that if you're gonna have fish, it has to be 9 fishes, but 8 of them are like any color. But there's one fish that's black because the black absorbs all the negative energy. And so my friend even has this friend who has a black dog. And basically, the Feng Shui master prescribed it to absorb the energy.
So 8 dogs can.
Yeah, and then one's black.
I have 1 dog, so kailangan I have to buy 8.
No, 1 dog is auspicious according to that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Yogi, you're auspicious. Congrats.
Shout out to my corgi. Okay, the bagua comes from the 3x3 grid, and then it kind of stemmed from there. Like that was the foundation of it, and then there were like color grids now, like which color symbolized what, and then I don't really get it. But that's where it came from.
So definitely it can go deeper, but what we're discussing right now is just more of like
let's scratch the
primer.
surface. There's a lot. Like, there's even courses to it, right?
Yeah.
Like people become Feng Shui masters. Like there are courses in China.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the last part of our podcast, which is Feng Shui and dealing with clients. Like example, what if we have a client that is really, really adamant on adding this Feng Shui aspect in his or her home, but then it's conflicting design-wise?
Well, for me personally, I've never experienced wherein the Feng Shui master would recommend a layout that's just so ghastly and so bad. Because in the end, like as we've discussed, they just do it in the natural order. Like the biggest conflict I've had with the Feng Shui was when I designed a window in front of a sliding door. And in the end, what we did was we just moved the sliding door bit to the side, and the panel facing the window was fixed. Because sometimes it's just like that, parang like with energy, it doesn't have to always be literal. And for me, it's part of our tasks as architects, as designers, to translate what the client wants, what the client needs into something that is tangible, into good design that works well for the clients. If one of the client's preferences includes Feng Shui, it's our job as designers to take that into consideration. Because like Feng Shui, it's sort of just like when somebody wants I want traditional design. I think it's just sort of like that. It's one of the client's preferences. And
And like we said a while ago, no house is 100% like Feng Shui.
And of course, as professionals, we'll design it to the best of our ability. We'll definitely advise sir, we have to do it this way. So just let me share this experience with my previous project wherein the client had to consult with a Feng Shui expert. And what we basically did was we just brought the plans, and then he was like, this is okay, move this a bit, just like that.
So you can always move things a few inches in design.
And sometimes, because this was a house renovation, so it wasn't as if when he said, you have to move the toilet, you can move a whole toilet. With renovations, it's harder. So much costings. So what we did instead is he would give like these charms to help combat the fact that the toilet was sort of on top of the stove.
I remember that.
Like that.
For example, if your house is like it's like a column stair or something like that, you can just mask it with like a mirror or something, or you can put something over it. Like example, if there's a mirror on the wall, and then or a TV on your bed is bad because there's like a mirror. So you can just cover the TV down when you sleep. There's some compromises that you can do.
Yeah, there's always remedies to it.
Okay, so to wrap up our podcast, basically if you want to incorporate Feng Shui in your home, it doesn't have to be the 100%, right? Just keep it free of clutter, make sure the sunlight is maximized, the flow of the energy you feel is like maximized there.
The burning question, Kelsey. Do you believe in Feng Shui?
Mom. I appreciate the art of Feng Shui. It's like how I practice some aspects of Buddhism in my life, but I'm not a monk. I'm not vegetarian naman, but I still meditate. I still believe in like reincarnation. So it's kind of like that. It's kind of like you take bits and pieces of the art into your life, and then you apply it where you feel like it's right. How about you? As an architect, do you believe as a Chinese architect, do you believe in Feng Shui?
My take on this is, ano masama if sinundan mo, I guess. Like, You know, like with Pascal's wager, like if you gain it all, and if you lose nothing. But in this sense, you gain all the bad luck. So I guess for me, like as long as it doesn't really interfere with the design, why not? And honestly, I'm very proud that I'm Filipino Chinese. I'm very proud of my ancestry, like obviously. Yeah, so for me, this is something I want to learn, not because I'm an architect, but because when I have kids, I want to teach them about it. Like, I don't want to not know about my culture, you know. I want to pass these things down because that's what makes us us. And we are nothing without our ancestors. Like, I have a great life because my great grandfather chose to like hop on a boat, go into this country. And I think the least I could do is be proud of my culture. So happy Chinese New Year!
Happy Chinese New Year, guys. We hope that this podcast was insightful for you, even if you're not Chinese, even if you don't practice it. If you somehow feel like you want to incorporate these in your life, you can. The month doesn't have to be full on. You know, it's like you don't have to convert into a monk.
Yeah, it's like a buffet. Just eat what you want.
Yeah.
Life's a buffet.
Take bits and pieces here and there and incorporate it into your life. And if you don't want it, you know, you don't have to practice it naman. But if you feel like it doesn't benefit you in any way, it's really kanya-kanya talaga. Yeah. Alright, so yun nga, I think we've covered all of the basic Feng Shui topics that we could.
Yeah.
We hope that this podcast was helpful. And if you guys feel like you want to explore it more with your space, we actually have an Instagram account at Furry Spaces that you can reach out to anytime. It's always me or Steph. And you can just talk to us anytime. It's free consultation.
Like if you want to ask about Feng Shui, we'll just try our best. And if you want to design that sort of a bit Feng Shui, at least you know that me and Kelsey know at least the basic 101.
Just to share, a lot of our clients are Filipino Chinese.
Yeah.
So they're really happy when we tell them that, Feng Shui. Yeah. So we can relate. My mom's really happy too that we're practicing this in our design culture.
And I hope our ancestors are proud of us. Jonah.
Mom, I hope you're proud. Dad, I hope you're proud also. Even Dad doesn't care naman.
Whatever makes you happy.
Guys, I hope that you enjoyed this podcast. Happy Chinese New Year.
Yes, and don't forget to like it if you liked it. Comment if you have any topics you'd like us to cover.
Yeah.
And subscribe, please.
Follow our podcast on Spotify and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We post and we upload videos 1 to 2 times a week, right?
Yeah.
We don't have a set schedule yet, but we will.
We will. Once we get those comments rolling.
We're going to invest in the professional time. So guys, thank you again for listening and for watching our podcast. And this is Kelsey.
This is Steph.
And we are the Furry Spaces team. And we'll see you on our next podcast.
Bye.